Hello, hello, hello. What is up, guys? It is Thursday, July 16th, and we are echoing because of somebody.
That might have been me.
That was awful.
That was pretty bad.
Thanks, Chris.
I kind of liked it. So what's going on? It's, like I said, it's Thursday, July 16th, and... Hello. What is up, guys? Who's watching ourselves delayed? July 16th. Does somebody have the YouTube open, Andy?
Nope.
Oh, it's me.
It's not.
Me. My bad. That was total. How the hell did that happen? Anyways, what's up, guys?
What's up, guys?
Welcome to another Crash and Burn episode. Tonight we have our usual crew. Welcome back to the show, Mr. Andy.
Hi, guys.
And what is up, Erica?
Hey, what's going on?
Tonight we have a special guest with us. This is Chris Fry from MDTS Training. How are you tonight?
Hi, all. I'm good. How are you, Mike? I'm sorry, how are you, Monopoly Man?
I'm good. You know, I just bought Park Place, and I'm heading over to that.
Do not pass go.
No, I will not. And let me unpresent me, and that way you guys can show up. Pull up tonight's schedule and our questionnaire as well. So, hope everybody is doing well, and we got a lot to talk about tonight. A lot of news, a lot of good stuff, but I wanted to start tonight off with a cool video I found, and we can discuss it a little bit. So take a look at this. All right, is that coming through okay, you guys?
Yep.
Yep.
Full screen?
Yep.
Okay, all right, take a look at this. Now, I don't know about you guys, but that's cool. As illegal and the amount of implications with it as it is, the fact that it was able to pull the trigger and compensate for the obvious recoil was pretty crazy. What are you guys' thoughts about that? I mean, it's a FAA violation, but it is pretty cool. I think that the only other stuff you've seen is the Roman candles on the drones, but I think it's pretty cool that it was able to do that.
Can you describe it for anybody that might not be like totally watching this and just listening?
For you guys that are listening, it is a quadcopter, obviously custom built, that has some sort of solenoid or some trigger set up to pull the trigger on a Glock. It looks like a Glock or some sort of handgun, and it's able to fire and stay in the air and correct itself from the recoil. Now, those of you guys who have seen it, send us your questions. I forgot to say at the beginning, we're available to take questions via the Google Plus, or send us comments on YouTube or Google Plus, or just find me on Facebook and send me a message, or hit us on Twitter or something. So everybody on the show, what do you guys think about being able to, the implications behind this?
We knew this was going to happen eventually. The military has drones that have weapons on it, so now the rednecks are starting to get the drones. The cheaper the drones get, the more hands it'll be in. And this one looked homemade, though. I mean, the parts, it all looked kind of put together, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, I think that's pretty spot on with the as everything becomes cheaper, you'll see more and more things being used with it. But I think that I think it's interesting. With anything, because it's making news headlines, it's probably just going to push the FAA to actually license these and control, being able to use it for any sort of commerce.
VF gun runners say add an AR, less recoil.
A little bit more weight, though.
Yeah, that'd be cool though to see if somebody could do that. I mean,
I
some of
bet
the drones now can hold the big SLRs and stuff, right? I mean,
yeah. A 6-rotor could easily hold an AR, maybe even something bigger, like a cannon. Where did VF Gunrunners say something?
in the Google chat questions on the right-hand side of my screen.
Oh, look at that. Select.
Look at that.
There, look at that. It popped up. Cool. Done.
Chris, what do you think of that?
It's like we were talking about before. I think that there's, I think it's kind of cool, but I also think that, we're going to run into some problems, with people messing around with these, and like Mike said, it's definitely going to get regulated, but even with it regulated, I mean, it gets into the wrong hands, it's going to be a problem. These drones, as far as security goes, it's one thing for everybody to worry about Big Brother, worrying about the government watching us and keeping the tabs on us. It's another thing when, local criminals and, whoever, drug gangs and whatnot, use drones to watch certain areas or to put a gun to it and fly down from the top of a building and nail somebody on the street, and you don't have anybody present, and there's nobody there, there's no people, it's a drone, so that's going to be, I definitely think it's going to be something that it's going to be a problem in the future.
I'm surprised we haven't seen more like homemade explosive devices on drones.
Yeah.
As cheap as they are to get and make now, it's much more complicated to have to pull a trigger. But to any sort of explosive device, you already have a remote control of it. Some sort of remote trigger is not any more complicated.
Well, gee, guys, you're just full of sunshine and rainbows tonight. So glad.
Well, they're definitely cool to play with, but I mean, just imagine the, the ability for you or I to take one of those drones that are relatively cheap, strap a GoPro to it, and watch other people. It's that's the thing that bothers me about it, and if we don't think that's going to happen, we're wrong. That's definitely going to happen if it's not already happening. I mean, again, everybody wants to rant about the government watching us, but I think we need to worry about as much, if not more, other people.
How do you think I got all that footage of Chris while he's sleeping?
Oh man.
Cool. So yes, for anybody out there, ask your questions through Google. Shout out to our friend Bill Welling from Up Armored Knives. He just checked in on the YouTube page and said, "What is up?" Good dude, and hopefully we'll have him on at some point as well.
Excellent knife maker, and definitely check out his website, uparmored.com. Mike, is that what it is?
I think it's Up Armored
Knives.
Oh, yeah.
Uparmored.tripod.com.
Oh, that tripod. Okay, yeah. He makes. I did a review on one of his knives a couple years ago, and I've had a chance to handle several of his knives, as have you, Mike. And I mean, just absolute amazing work.
Yeah,
so
him and his wife came out because they were going to the Rochester Tattoo Convention and hand delivered me a knife, upper and lower, that was all skull airbrushed. It was pretty awesome. So I keep that. I definitely use it to show off to a lot of people, and he keeps posting these great knife pictures on Facebook and stuff. I keep posting like, that looks awesome, and a lot of his stuff it's certainly not cheap, but it is some very, very good quality stuff.
Yeah, he's on Instagram also. Up Armored, at Up Armored, and where he's got a lot of good photos of his knives. He also does, these designs and the coatings on guns, on a bunch of different stuff. So if you get a chance, check that out. And
Yeah, definitely a good local,
Yep.
New York, supporter of what we do and everything. So,
Yeah.
cool. Ari, did you have a news topic or something you wanted to roll right into?
Yeah, mine is sunshine and rainbows. Probably opposite of what we're going to talk about probably for the rest of the night because there's a lot going on. So I'm going to lead with something that's not, well, it's kind of scary. Um, so the scariest hotel room in the world hangs off the side of a mountain. Um, so you would be, literally you're in like this little capsule and it has windows all over it. Um, and if you're looking to like travel abroad and like live on the edge, this would be the hotel for you. The hotel is called Sky Lodge Adventure Suites, and it's located in Peru. You will be paying a little bit of a hefty fee. Normally, for $1,000 a night stay, you'd be thinking maybe someplace like Vegas, maybe someplace in Italy or something like that. But no, this is on the side of a mountain in Peru, and the room, you actually have to climb up like a few hundred feet, or you have to take like a zip line to get to it. So it's actually really kind of cool. It's completely transparent, so you can see like these amazing views that they have there in Peru and everything.
I feel like this is
So
something Mr. Andy would do. Just
Hell
this is,
yeah.
this is definitely a Mr. Andy thing. Each suite is 24 feet long, 8 feet wide, with enough room for 4 beds. It's a handcrafted out of aerospace aluminum and weather-resistant polycarbonate. So each night, yeah, in this 24 by 8 foot capsule is $1,000 a night. But like they said, like the views are amazing, and it's like one of those things that you like totally check off your bucket list. You can go on to their sites and you can see the pictures and everything. But
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now on Google Images, and it's definitely something if you're into like camping and stuff, because it's when you say 4 beds, it's like 4
like
slots.
cots.
Yeah, slots that you can fit into with a sleeping bag, and
This is taken from like multiple pitch ascents, like up El Capitan. People actually they carry their bed up there and they make a little hammock on there with cams. But this looks fun. I like it.
This says, though, in it that you don't have to have hiking or any kind of climbing experience, so, like, they'll get you up there somehow. I guess maybe they'll, like, strap you into a zip line and push your ass over there or something. I don't know. But looks pretty cool. If I could burn $1,000 a night, I would totally do it.
I think just going to Peru would be cool.
I was going to say, you got to get to Peru also. That's
Once again, killing my sunshine in rainbows. Jeez.
Sorry,
Just
Ari.
kidding.
just saying.
It's okay.
reality. Can we just hang
Sorry.
something off the side of something here?
Yes.
Yeah.
The side of the house?
Yes. Let's do that.
That's how Mike
Quick,
does
Mike,
it.
make one.
And then if I get scared, I can just go sleep in my bed.
That seems legit. So that was my little news article. I thought it was cool. Thought it'd be neat to do. There you go.
That is cool. What I still don't get, like, what if there's an emergency? What do you do?
What kind of emergency? Like a poop emergency, or like the
Where's the
mountain is falling emergency?
Both? Is there a bathroom in it?
It
No.
did. No, I think like
Bring a bucket.
down below. I guess maybe. I don't. Wait, hold on. I'm going back. I read this earlier, and bum.
Climbers just poop off the side anyway.
Yeah, it looks like there's like a bucket that has a hole in the floor and with a toilet seat on it, and you kind of like go to the other end of the cubicle
Capsule.
or whatever, the capsule, and do your business, and then go back to the other
It
end
did
to sleep.
say that you get like gourmet meals. Maybe at like in one of the pictures you can see below the capsule, like there's looks like a hotel and like a parking area kind of thing. So I'm wondering if like in there would it be like where you eat and maybe.
Oh, yeah, you could see like a lodge or something down
Yeah.
by a river.
Yep.
I wonder
So
if
I'm
they've got like a
guessing.
lot of these, or just one attached to the
There's a
wall.
few.
No, they have a few.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's like living in the missile silo thing I liked.
See, you could do it on the side of a mountain. I think it would be really neat. I don't know if I'd want to be locked in there though with kids.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
our two boys are very active. I feel like the stuff would give way.
VF Gunrunners asks, is there a live text for this versus asking questions? And for anybody out there, if you make your way over to the Google Plus page, go ahead and chat in there, and we will. I'm following that, and I'm following the YouTube comments. Not really a whole lot of chat. We should set up some sort of live chat page. I'm gonna have to get my good friend Alex on that because he knows how to do all that kind of good stuff. So that is that question, and VF Gunners also says it has a private bathroom.
I wonder if some of the larger ones.
Maybe. That's still weird. I mean, I don't even like camping because I don't like pooping around people.
Yeah, but a lot of people do, so it's kind of cool.
A lot of people like pooping around people or like camping?
Yeah. Camping. And
For the
pooping.
But this would take out, well, I don't know. But for me, I'd feel more protected from bugs and spiders. But I'm sure they have some pretty crazy stuff there in Peru.
Yeah, like Perusian snakes.
Parisian.
Right. No, isn't Parisian Paris?
Persian.
Persian.
Perusian. Persian.
All right. Next.
We're
All right,
educated.
moving along. So this brings us to our Fancy Smanchy guest, Chris Fry, and Chris's nickname is Old Greg, as from his thing. Chris's company is MDTS, Modern Defensive Training Systems, and Chris and I go way back. He was my very first sponsor on New York Firearms when it came out, and back in 2008. And I got to know Chris and knew he was interesting fellow. And he teaches all kinds of classes locally, and everything from physical defense to knives and edge weapons, pistol, carbine, shotguns, everything. But Chris, why don't I let you talk a little bit about your company and kind of give people a spiel?
You kind of hit it on the head. I started teaching in 1998 to some friends of mine, little small groups of guys that I'd get together with, who wanted to see some of the training that I have gotten from other sources, and we started shooting together and doing different things. And next thing you know, we went from 3 or 4 guys to 10 or 12 guys in a 4-hour workshop or block clinic or whatever, and then I got more and more requests to do formal classes, full-day classes, and just snowballed into what it is today. We travel all over, not just New York State, but Massachusetts, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Nevada, pretty much wherever anybody wants us to come to, we go to, and do a mobile training course. And our curriculum consists of, like you mentioned, physical defense, less lethal tools, edge weapons, pistol, carbine, shotgun. And it's a lot of fun. Come shoot with us.
Now, what was the reason for you getting into this? What was your drive to go to do this?
Well, I had strong interest in martial arts as a young man, and grew up, training in different types of martial arts, and I was assaulted pretty badly in the early '90s. And after those incidents, where I was put in the hospital in one situation, and then attacked with contact weapons in a couple other situations, I learned that I didn't want to have to go hands-on with people anymore, even though that was my background, what I liked doing and still do. but I don't really want to have to do that if it's not necessary. And so I started looking at firearms training and spent a lot of time going around and to different training schools and places throughout the 90s. And still train to this day. We're hosting my friend Craig Douglas, South Narc, next weekend here in New York, in Marietta, New York. And so I host and participate in training throughout the year while I'm also still teaching my classes, and keep pretty active with that. But my motivation is that I like this stuff. While some people grow up playing basketball and baseball, I grew up doing martial arts and boxing and fighting, and have always gravitated towards that. And the firearms is just an extension of that.
That's cool. Well, one thing I think people need to realize, and I think is awesome from your classes, is your whole, sort of the mantra in the beginning is that you're focused on teaching, and you're teaching from a civilian standpoint. And there's so many instructors out there that base 100% of their training on their background and what they've done and all that, where and it may not apply at all to somebody who is just a civilian looking to better defend themselves. And I think that's really appreciated, and maybe you can elaborate a little more on that.
Yeah. I'm a big believer in that, and it's like you said, it's kind of a spiel I go over in the beginning of each of my classes. Is that a lot of the training that we get as civilians is a trickle down from military and law enforcement, and then eventually gets to us. And most of the guys that I have taken training from have some type of background in the military or law enforcement side of the house. And while everything, I love training with whoever I can. I'll take any class if I can, and I always learn something. What I realized very quickly was I was spending a lot of money training and doing things that, while fun, wasn't necessarily relevant to my lifestyle or my what I carried every day, or where I lived, or what I could do, and the use of force guidelines and whatnot. So running around with camo on and with a carbine and doing partner tactics and stuff like that is a heck of a good time, and I recommend everybody try it once or twice, especially if you like to shoot. It's very it's not something that I foresee myself doing to protect myself or my family. So what I did throughout the years is I took all that training and I whittled it down and I filtered it out, and I found the things that applied to me as a civilian, and I put kind of my own twist on certain things, and so I cater to the civilian market in the sense of I walk around in jeans and a shirt and wear dress clothes to work. I don't have a battle belt on. I don't have a gear. I don't roll up in a cruiser with lights and have a taser and a whole bunch of stuff on me. So I've had to kind of gear my training classes towards the average everyday person, and people seem to like it. I get a lot of good feedback from students, and I've integrated a lot of the feedback that I've got from students. And the way I look at things is I'm kind of more like a coach, on the range. I'm there. We're just there shooting together, and I just happen to be the one, guiding everybody along, and that seems to work out pretty good. I'm not a big fan of the whole yelling at people and chasing people around and the whole giant command presence kind of thing. We run a good range, and but everybody has fun while they're doing it and learns a lot. So seems to be a pretty good model so far.
That's great. I think.
I got one thing.
Oh, go ahead, Andy.
Thanks. One thing I did notice on your show, or I'm sorry, in your class, was you didn't really talk down about all the instructors. You do see this sometimes. It's like eating their own. There was one certain question where a young lady was talking about one of the instructors said something, and you kind of explained the way you liked it, but you didn't go after that person. Do you see that a lot, though? Other people like eating their own, other instructors like jabbing at each other?
Yeah. We all fall victim to ego, and this industry, and I hate to use the word industry, but the the firearms training industry in particular has a lot of, I mean, most of the guys that teach are type A personality. They're aggressive. They're, you know, they're confident, and nobody likes to you know, roll over for somebody else and say that this guy's doing it better than me. So, you know, every class you go to, the instructor's the man, and he knows it all, and you're there to worship, you know, at the feet of that guy. And I've always I've never really liked that that perspective, and I'm not going to say anything about any other instructors in my classes, especially because people are there to learn what I have to present, not what other people have to present. And I especially keep my mouth shut if I haven't been to that person's class. If I've never been to their class, I'm not going to comment on what they're doing. I'll just kind of try to give my own perspective on the question that's being asked of me. So, you know, I think there's kind of this weird. The phrase that I use is people don't know good training until they've had bad training, and vice versa. They don't know bad training until they've had good training. And if your very first experience is with somebody that does a pretty good job, you might think they're great, and you might think the skills you got were all you need, and that's it. But that's fine until you go and train with somebody else, and you realize, wow, you know, that instruction wasn't the best, or the things that I learned from them don't really apply to me and my lifestyle and what I'm doing. So I guess the moral of the story is, you know, go train with everybody you can. I mean, I have some very, very close friends in the training industry, and you know, I'm loyal to them, but you know, if I get a chance to jump in a class somewhere, I jump in a class somewhere, because ultimately your instructor is not going to be there for your gunfight. Your instructor is not going to be there for your assault or robbery or rape or kidnapping. And so, you know, it's great to love this one guy or that guy, but you know, what matters is you and what you can do on demand when the time comes. So, you know, go train with whoever you can, pick up as much information as you can, and filter it out like I've done with my stuff, and find what works for you. And if you want to keep training with one particular person, there's nothing wrong with that. That's cool too. But you know, my advice is get as much as you can. You know.
Yep.
I'd like to talk a little bit about home and family defense skills. Now, you haven't run it in so long, but I'm actually going to let Erica take the lead on this, because her description and her desire for you to have this class again is a lot stronger than mine. So go ahead, Ari.
Sorry, Chris. I know that you haven't run it, and I know that it's such a huge undertaking for you, but it's the reason why I keep training. It's the reason
class,
why.
Right?
I'm serious. Like, it got me very comfortable with it. There was no live fire, but it brought a lot of things out in that class that maybe I had my head tucked in the sand about. And as a woman, some of the live fire trainings for the first time can be a little scary. I even see, you know, when you go to take one, a lot of the women treat the classes differently than the men do, which is fine. But something like that class, it really brought a lot of things into the open for me. I learned a ton of information, and I think it's a great class. I think it also is great for things like you said with it, not just having somebody kick in your door and stuff like that, but what about like fire drills and that's way more likely to happen than somebody doing, you know, a kicking in your door and coming in and holding you hostage. It's really, for me, it's helped me a lot. And like I said, I know it's a huge undertaking, but for me, that class was a huge reason why I went to other classes.
Well, besides that being a great testimonial, Chris, why don't you give everybody a background, like actually what the class is about?
The home and family defense skills is kind of like Ari said, it's a non-live fire class, and I intentionally designed it that way, where we're using either airsoft or simunitions or UTMs for the scenarios when we run the scenarios, but it focuses on several different categories. You know, we start off with mindset and family preparation, and part of that family preparation is like what Erica was mentioning, is that everybody wants to talk about on the internet about, you know, 2 guys, 3 guys, 4 guys, a gang kicking in their door, like we see some of these horrible videos of. And you know, God forbid that's a terrible situation, but let me backtrack real quick. You know, going back to your guest that you guys had on last week with William April, one really good thing I learned from William. William is a dear friend of mine, and one thing that I really got from his class, which is fantastic, is, you know, gauging your training based upon your lifestyle and why are you carrying a gun? Are you carrying a gun because you expect terrorists? I mean, you know, we're going to talk about some news here in a little while, but you know that there's, you know, that's viable in certain areas. Are you carrying a gun because you're expecting, you know, robbery, rape, kidnapping, assault? And then the second question is, what do you expect to encounter? And you know, frankly, here in my area where I live, you know, home invasions just aren't, you know, super common. I mean, they happen. They've happened a couple times in the last several years here in the Utica area where I live in New York. But the point is that you know, a fire drill is also some part of that class that we talk about. Is that you know, we grew up as kids in school learning about stop, drop, and roll, and you know how to you know, take care of a fire if we catch a fire. But you know, how many people have actually practiced some type of fire drill in their home? And the nice thing about practicing that first is it equates very well to a home invasion in the sense of communication protocols, you know, having certain words that you use with your family to alert everybody in the house immediately to what's going on instead of having to have a conversation when there's bad people that might be around. And so we go over some communication protocols, and then we practice it. And we practice different types of designated roles, you know, who's the primary defender. I mean, and then, you know, we talk about preparedness as far as the family goes. To sidetrack here, you know, a lot of people have multiple handguns, multiple guns in their home, and a lot of guys, you know, they like to shoot, and maybe the wife goes out with them every now and then. But imagine if, you know, the week that or the day that you have your door kicked in by somebody, or a burglary occurs, that, you know, that day you got hit by a truck and you're in a full body cast. Can your wife or your son or your daughter, you know, easily operate your firearms? And I think that's a very viable question, because I see guys come to classes and girls come to classes with these firearms that are, frankly, to me, the manual of arms. They're having trouble in an 8-hour class running a gun. If you're having trouble in an 8-hour class running your handgun or running your carbine or running your shotgun because of the manual of arms is complicated, what makes you think that your wife's going to pick it up and be able to defend you? So, you know, or your son or daughter or someone who's staying with your family member, whatever, your significant other. So we talk a lot about preparedness and preparing the home, and as far as home defense strategies and perimeters of defense, and we talk about the communication protocols. And then we also talk a little bit about, and we practice some escape from restraints, which is something that I know that Erica and Mike you know, had fun with, in the sense of, you know, okay, now somebody got into your house, they got control of you, you weren't prepared, you weren't ready to defend yourself, and you got caught unaware, and these bad people are in your home and they've restrained you in some way. Do you have certain things set up around your home? Do you have handcuff keys? You know, I mean, it sounds kind of a weird question, but I mean, you know, having a handcuff key in each room of your house isn't a bad idea. It's a pretty cheap little piece of, you know, gear that can give you peace of mind, in the sense of, if I'm locked in a certain room in my house, tied up in a corner or handcuffed in a corner, I know I can go somewhere in that room and find a handcuff key and get myself unlocked. And I mean, these are things that we don't really want to think about, you know, but unfortunately these things can and may happen, so we want to be prepared for it. Other than that, in that class we go into some scenarios. We talk about, you know, response planning, and then a little bit of family tactics, you know, again, roles, who's the primary defender, who's the who's the gatherer, or the person that gets the kids or the other family members together and gets them to a safe room if possible. And then we talk about runners, or an older child that might be able to get out of the house through a window and run to a neighbor's house. And then whose role is it to communicate with authorities? And then finally we get into a little bit of tactics as far as using cover and concealment, zones of fire, and what we call deliberate searching of the home in case you have to go and find a family member that's separated from you, and then what we call dynamic searching, in the sense of the circumstances are pretty bad, you hear screaming, and you got to get there fast. And how do you do that in a way without yourself getting hurt? We talk a little bit about low light, and then we culminate the day with scenarios where you're, I can't remember the scenario exactly, Erica, that you guys were engaged in, but I think you were restrained. You were restrained in a room somewhere, and there were bad people in your home, and you had to escape from their restraints, and you had to find your way out of that home, either having to engage the people in your home or being able to get out and not engage them. I mean, just because someone's in your home doesn't mean you have to engage them. If you're able to get free, then my advice is get free and not engage them. Get out, get to safety, and then contact authorities. And we also practice how to contact the authorities and what to say to the authorities. So it's a lot in one day, but it is like Gary said, I think it's a fun class, and the role players make a big difference. I know that the class that you guys attended, Ari, after that class, I was talking to my friend Craig Southnark, and he actually said to me, let me know the next time you guys have that class, and I'll come up, and I'll be the role player. Which, if you guys know Craig, if you've ever met Craig or seen Craig or see any video of him, he's exceptionally talented at making people uncomfortable verbally and physically, and so he'd be.
I've heard he's a bit intense.
Yeah.
I'm excited for next week, actually.
Great dude. Yep. It's gonna be a fun class.
I mean, I'm pretty much gonna come and pretend that I was gonna participate, and then put
I figured. Yeah, when I saw your name, I kind of figured that's what you were gonna do, but that's okay.
But yeah, so that is one of my favorite classes.
Yeah, sorry about the rant there, but you asked.
No, that's good. I think we should work together. Maybe I know William contacted me about coming out in October, so maybe we can sort of coordinate something to get that class back on the schedule. I saw there's also a seminar one. Maybe we can do something like a Friday night or something like that.
Yeah, no, that'd be a lot of fun. I'd love to come. As long as we have some kind of structure with some rooms in it, that's all we need. Because I can bring all the other gear, and it's certainly a lot of fun. And William would definitely be an asset to that class, and let alone his own coursework, which I can't recommend highly enough.
Yeah, I think was the class he messaged me about, that was with you also?
Well, yeah, we were gonna we have done a couple of joint classes together. The class that I think you might be thinking of is what we call Defensive Fundamentals, and that's on my website. Maybe somebody could put a link to that. It's in the course page of my website. Somebody could put a link to it so you can see the description of that course. But it's basically half a day of lecture where William goes over victim selection and how criminals assess and select you or someone else as a victim, and how to prevent that, how to not be selected. So, and then he also goes over a block on what he calls the 5 W's of risk, and it's a lot of mindset. It's a lot of information that people who are into training hear about, and they go, oh yeah, that sounds fun, but I'd rather shoot. Well, you're going to need and you're going to use the stuff that William's going to tell you far more. I mean, I'm 45. I've never been in a gunfight. I don't think I ever will be, hopefully. But I use the stuff that William tells me, and I've learned from him every single day. So, while we all love to shoot, and some of us love to punch and kick and stab and cut, the mental stuff that he has to offer is really a fantastic addition to anybody's defensive skills.
Yeah, I'll put a link to that right into the Google Plus.
Yeah, and then the other half of that class I teach, that part is all live fire. What are the essential, quick skills that you need, to get you ready to be able to shoot accurately and fast to protect yourself in case your skills that you learn from William don't work and you are selected and targeted. How do you get that gun out of the holster fast? How do you become accurate and quick at your shooting? And we get everybody dialed in by the end of the day between the mindset and then the physical skills.
Well, let's talk a little bit about Palooza. We talked about it last week with William. We got to get some more people signed up and out to this. I got an email that there's the threat that it may not happen. So for anybody out there who is listening, I will be teaching at it. Chris, I believe you're teaching a block at it.
Yeah.
William and a lot of the people we're having on the show in the next couple of weeks will be out at this event.
Mike, can you clarify who William is again? Last name?
Sorry, William April from last week from April Risk Consulting. And again, to go over Palooza, it's at a private range. It's on August 15th and 16th. And the price is $300 plus some sort of fee, I'm assuming, for Eventbrite or however they're managing it. And there's some really big names at this. Craig Douglas, James Yeager, Rob Pincus, Dr. Lauren Pugliese, myself, Cecil Birch, Chris, William April, Paul Sharp, Greg Elfritz, some big names that a lot of you guys might recognize as some of your Facebook friends or see them out on Instagram and everything, but now's your chance to get to know these guys and get out there and get some training. Andy, you went last year. Well, give us a little background about it.
I mean, where else can you get disaster dentistry, emergency medical for veterinarians, and combatives with pistols all in one place? I mean, they're like 4-hour blocks, 2 full days. I mean, 2 full days, and I mean, you cannot beat this training for $300, and every single penny that's taken in goes to Paul Gomez's family, his kids. I mean, I don't know if that was mentioned or not, but I mean, last year I think we raised over $40,000 for him. So if this isn't going to happen, it's really bad.
Yeah, I'm going to have to talk to William about it. Erica, maybe you and I, maybe we could design up a T-shirt and donate some shirts, or talk to our shirt guys locally and see if they'll chip in half and give us half price, and we'll get a special Palooza shirt made. If this goes through, we'll give a shirt to everybody who goes.
That's a great idea. I'll get on it.
Cool.
I think well, one of the big sponsors of the event last year and this year is Triple Out Design, and they do a T-shirt for all the participants and for the instructors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I mean, but I mean, I'm sure that they'd love if you guys, contributed something as well. But Triple Out Design, Safety Solutions Academy is also one of the sponsors, and the Southington Law Enforcement Military Training Facilities, where we're having Garrettsville, Ohio. What I like people to kind of think about is that if you're not really sure about what you need, you got a gun, maybe you got a knife, maybe you don't have your pistol license, you're concerned with personal protection, you wanna, you're worried about the way things are going in the world, and you want to be a little bit more prepared, and you don't want to be a guy that's jumping out of a helicopter, but you want to be a little bit prepared. And you're not really sure what class to go to. Well, this conference and conferences like it are an excellent opportunity. It's like what Andy was saying. You have multiple blocks of instruction from various trainers on various subjects. And the analogy I give people is it's like a buffet, a training buffet. And some of them are lectures. Like if you don't want to do anything real physical, you can go to one of the lectures. Chuck Haggard. We call him Marshall Haggard. He is a former Topeka, Kansas law enforcement officer and a very, very talented firearms trainer, and he's got a long, fantastic resume of training experience. He did a fantastic block on the use of pepper spray and how it affects people, and the pros and cons of using less lethal tools like that. So lecture block. There's medical blocks. There's fighting in cars. South Narc did a fantastic block on vehicle combatives. And what happens if you're trapped in your vehicle with somebody, some guy road rage gets in your vehicle with you, or you're a woman and you're at an ATM and some guy opens the passenger door. You forgot to lock your doors and somebody gets in the car with you. How do you fight your way out of the vehicle, and why you shouldn't stay in the vehicle? Real excellent information. And again, you can make it as physical as you want. Nobody's pushing you to do anything you don't want to do. Very, very great atmosphere as far as camaraderie and good food, and we have a dinner on one night and a big auction where we auction off high-end firearms, knives, all sorts of different training classes that the instructors donate, or we get donations from companies like yours, Mike, and yours and Aries, and it's a great event for a great cause.
Yeah, we'll be donating again. Last year, I think we donated a lower. Maybe I told William I want to step it up a little bit and donate a few things. Erica, I'm sure, talk to William. Maybe he'll be interested in having you donate stickers for the event.
Yeah, I'd love to be a part of that. And, it's not a lot, but if I could do that, that'd be great.
Cool.
I think the stickers would be great.
Before we move on from Chris, I wanted to talk a little bit about your product. I know you wanted to talk about it. I left mine at my shop, so I don't have it on here to show everybody. But why don't you tell us a little bit about the product you came up with, your Modular Pocket Shield.
Yeah, I think you put a link in the somewhere for that, right?
I will right now. I just put the link for the defensive fundamentals, but I'm going to put a link to the product as well.
Yeah, so I designed, I don't know how the camera can see this, but this is the Modular Pocket Shield. It's basically, it started off as me messing around and trying to find a way that I could carry pretty much, not a full-size gun, but pretty much anything I wanted inside a pocket in some non-permissive environments without it showing. So I messed around with Kydex at first, and then I hooked up with the guys from Raven Concealment, and Raven Concealment, they actually, I worked with them, and they are now manufacturing this. It was my design. They helped me out with a little bit of the design and the CAD and all that, and then they're manufacturing this, and it's being sold on the rcs.gear.com website. But basically, the idea is this is very modular. You have the slots that can mount multiple different things. This one here has Velcro on the back of it, so that I don't have the knife, but I have a knife, small fixed blade that has a Velcro on the sheath, and so I Velcro the sheath to the Velcro here, the hook and loop, and then this goes in my pocket, and the outline of the shield basically breaks up the outline of the fixed blade in my pocket. And because of the size of this and the general size of different pant pockets, it sits in the pocket and it stays in one specific orientation in the pocket, meaning it doesn't move around. So the problem with any kind of pocket carry is you drop something in your pocket and it moves around. It shifts when throughout the day. Well, with the Pocket Shield, when you put something and mount something to this, it stays right in that same spot. So as far as self-defense, being able to access a tool, a knife, a gun, a small frame gun, a flashlight, or whatever that you decide to mount to this, you don't have that fishing. You don't have to go in your pocket and fish around for it, which takes time while you might be under attack. And so the Pocket Shield provides consistent orientation, and it breaks up the outline and hides it. And that seemed to be working out pretty well. I ran it for about a year by myself, a little less than a year, and then I sent out 13 units to guys in law enforcement, military, and some other people who have tested it all over the world. These have been over in the sandbox and in certain areas in very, very deep cover, fashion. And all the feedback has been fantastic. And they've been on the market now about, a year and a half or so through Raven. Some other examples, this is a small fixed blade here. This is a Bantang clinch pick that's attached to the shield with some Chicago screws. And so this goes right in my strong side pocket, and all I've got to do is get my hand in the pocket a little bit, and there's the fixed blade. So if I'm wearing dress clothes, perhaps, a pair of Dockers and a button-down shirt, and I can't wear anything around my waist, I can't wear any waist-mounted tools or weapons for personal protection, this goes in my pocket, and I can still carry something if I need it. This is a Max Venom karambit that's set up with a Velcro kind of sheath again, so that all I got to do is pull that out. It's a nasty little, knife. And then the other nice added benefit to it is that this one here, if you guys can see, the lighting's kind of bad, but this one here I have set up with a 10-speed mag pouch. My friend Brian Hardman from Progressive Force Concepts, he suggested using the 10-speed mag pouch, which is universal. I can carry a sport side pistol magazine in the pocket shield in a pair of dress pants. Sometimes in jeans I could do that, but if I'm wearing my shirt tucked in and I don't want to wear a tuckable type rig, which I'm not real comfortable with to begin with, this goes right in my sport side pocket, and I can carry my flashlight, a space pen, and then a spare magazine, pistol magazine, right on here. And then finally, certain small frame pistols. This is set up for Glock 42 holster from DarkstarGear.com. They made that holster for me. Tom from Darkstar made this holster, and it's hidden right there behind the pocket shield, and it's set up so that when the gun's in there, I can still get a full firing grip on the gun while it's in my pocket. And it is a little bit bulky, but inside the pocket, it looks like a wallet or a cell phone or something like that. The design of the shield is such that these notches are for folding knives, so that when you put the folding knife and hook it on one of these notches, it doesn't move around or slide around throughout the day. So again, consistency. It's always there where you need it. And this is actually what I wore today, and so I've got a ZT folding knife here, and then a small flashlight, that I carry around in dress clothes. And if you don't have it, it doesn't do you any good.
What are they selling for?
I think through RCS you can get them for $24.99 for one, or they've got a deal where I think you get like $10 off if you buy 2 or 3 or something like that.
Oh, okay, cool.
Not cheap. Some people say, well, that's just a piece of plastic, but once you use it, it's one of those things that everybody that's bought them, once they use them, they want another, because you'll set one up one specific way, and then you'll want to set up another one that's different way for a different pair of pants or for different tools. Maybe you got one with a gun on it or snubby on it, and you got another one with a fixed blade on it, and so forth.
Well, that's cool. Well,
and you've got the link to my website, where I've got the page on my website that's got literally, there's got to be 25 pictures of different setups from different end users who've sent me pictures over the last year that people can go look at.
Yep, I just shared it on the Google Plus and the YouTube comments for anybody that's watching.
Cool.
Well, I really appreciate you coming on the show, Chris. I think there's a ton of good knowledge. I've gotten a ton of great feedback from people. I've got one question from Alex, who is actually the Alex that I was talking about earlier that should make us, I can't remember now because it was a while ago, but his question is...
Alex is going to work on like a
live chat
question box for you guys.
Oh, yeah, Alex, since you're listening now,
live chat, yeah.
We need a live chat for this show. So, cool. He asks, what is the #1 skill that people should have to keep themselves safe?
Good physical and verbal boundary setting skills. You are going to use, again, referencing one of my mentors and good friend, Craig Southnark Douglas. He turned me on. I mean, I had a pretty good idea that was good, important information. Several years ago, we did. My wife and I ran Fast Defense, which was a padded assailant training course for several years, for almost 10 years, and the core of that course is verbal and physical boundary setting skills. But Craig really brought the importance of that, of what he calls managing unknown contacts, to the forefront in the gun training industry. Because up until him, everybody go to a gun class and you shoot guns. It's the fight. You get out there and you learn to shoot your gun. Well, that's missing a whole component, and that whole component is what happens before you go to the gun. What happens when 2 guys come up to you in the parking lot? You just, if you don't have good physical and boundary setting skills, de-escalation skills, diffusion skills, then you're going to get scared and you're going to just go to the gun, and things could turn out badly. And so several years ago, I've been training with Craig now for 10 years, and literally 10 years ago, nobody was teaching this other than him. And he brought this to the forefront, and I think it's an essential skill. If you do not have the ability to effectively verbally diffuse a situation and set physical boundaries properly and effectively, it's more likely you're going to be a victim, or you're going to make a poor use of force decision and use more force than was necessary at that moment. So my advice is get to a class that focuses on those skills first, because you're going to spend more of your time in your life, you probably already have, talking to people than you are fighting people, I hope. I mean, if you're getting into fights on a regular basis, then you probably are not doing the right thing to begin with.
Yeah, that's very true. Cool. Well, like I said, thank you for coming on the show. I think people.
Did you just flip me off? You just flipped me off, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. There you went like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
Oh, and I like your retired stripper name, Curly Jefferson.
That's also from Old Greg. Yeah. Craig actually turned me on to Old Greg. So if you ever get Craig on the show, you got to ask him about it.
Well, Craig is scheduled, I think, next week. Right.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah.
We wanted to have him on so we could talk about the class and any last-minute stragglers that want to jump into his class. So that way we can kind of talk about if he's going to beat me up or let me slide.
Yeah, no, definitely. If he's here next weekend, the 24th through the 26th, and it's in south of Syracuse, New York, in Marietta. It's at the Utica Lake Rod and Gun Club, and it's 20 hours of training. He covers that managing unknown contacts block on Friday night and a little bit of practical and armed combatives. And then Saturday and Sunday is his core extreme close quarter concepts course, which is 2 days of 0 to 5 foot of handgun training, and very extreme sport use of the handgun and physical skills, verbal and physical skills, and scenarios with force on force. So it's a fantastic class. This will be my 8th or 9th time in seeing the class, and I've been through the class at least 5 times myself, and then helped him coach it 3 or 4 more times. So fantastic class. Yeah, cool. I can't recommend this class enough. If you carry a gun, this is a class you should do. Yeah,
we'll definitely post some more links to it throughout the week. So next up, we talked a little bit about guns and gear for Chris's product, and Andy had to run out to a fire call, so that leaves you, Erica. What do you have for tonight for your gear of the week?
So I wanted to talk about something that, once again, I literally use almost every day. I carry it around in my purse. It's the Fight Soap Body Armor Combative Sanitizer. And I know that this stuff is hard to get a hold of. I know that not everybody gets a chance to, but I love this stuff. It's from Fight Soap, or also known as American Combat Hygiene. It's $7.99 on their site, and it's sold out currently. But it really is great to have on you all the time. I don't like the normal ones. They always smell like alcohol-y. Somehow they always end up in my purse and all over the place. This one's actually alcohol-free, and it just it's a foam, so it's not all liquidy and all over your hands. It works up for like 3 hours, and it kills 99% of the germs, like serious infections like ringworm, staph infection, anything else that is really, really gross. Once again, I have 2 kids, and they can be really, really gross. So I carry this, and it smells good because sometimes kids stink also. And I use this on them. I use it on me. People have seen me break this out all the time. Like, hey, here, you want this? Sometimes it's because they just smell bad, and this has a great scent to it. But it's made in the USA, and it's by Fight Soap. And, yeah, they're a great company. And if you can get your hands on it, I would totally recommend it. So that's my gear for this week.
Yeah, I know you guys recommend that stuff, but every time I go to their website to try to order something, it's sold out.
You got to get on their mailing list, okay?
Well,
Get on the mailing list. They update you on stuff. Be there when they say to be there on time, okay? Everybody's a whiner, okay? Get your stuff ready, get your clicker finger ready, and go to town.
All right.
Well, I think, Erica, you got some pull. See if we can get Bond to send Chris some stuff.
Oh, you're going to name drop now. Yeah, no, I'll see what I can do. I know he's a
Hey, Mike, can I talk about one more piece of gear?
Sure.
And you guys might be familiar with this, but we were out at the we were out in Vegas for the PFC conference, instructor conference, and one of the instructors and friend of mine, Chris, his name's Chris. His wife was she is using what's called a can concealment hip hugger holster, and they were talking about it. I'm not a woman. I don't carry like girls do, but I think this is something that you might want to check out. The website is canconcealment.com, and she raved about it. She raved about how the fact that this that concealment system for her enabled her to run it, exercise in it. I mean, she's not doing burpees or anything like that, I don't think, but she mentioned running and going out with the dogs and doing stuff, but very low profile and very tight to the body, which, holsters are great for guys, but yeah, there you go, and it's super cute. Holsters are great for guys, but most of the holsters that I buy for my wife or that my wife looks at and we try out is just too bulky for her. She can't wear the clothes that she likes to wear, and so she ends up, picking the clothing over the gun, which is not something that I like. So we're going to be testing out. She's going to be testing out this can hip hugger, and it might be something that some of your viewers want to check out also.
What's your opinion on garter holsters? Like, I'm not like, we wear dresses and everything, and I know you guys are like, just don't, but that's a dumb answer. Because I see they have garter holsters, and I do wear dresses because I'm a girl.
Yep.
So.
Well, I don't really have an opinion.
Just go with nothing.
Because I don't have an opinion, Ari, because I'm not a girl. I've never worn a garter. I hope never to. I can't really comment. But
would you
I definitely think it's
a girl
something
that showed up that was like, I want to learn how to defend myself, and I wear dresses all the time, so I'm going to always be wearing this.
Yeah, I think that'd be fantastic. I mean, for you to, if you're going to wear something like that, you're going to try it out, and you're going to use it, then definitely bring it to a class and try it out, and I wouldn't have a problem with that as long as your draw stroke from that specific type of holster is safe, and which I don't see why it wouldn't be if done in the proper way. My only concern with something like that, again, this is just from wearing like drop leg holsters for like a tactical kind of holster, is that with a gun that's a certain weight on the inside of the leg like that, the strap, the garter would have to be fairly robust, because if you move around fast, that's going to shift around, that's going to move around. I mean, again, I've never worn one, I don't know, but that would be one of my concerns. Is what happens if you have to take off at a sprint? Is it gonna fall out, or I don't know? Is it gonna shift on you or move around? It's just some things to think about. Again, I think maybe you guys ought to look into having maybe a female expert firearms instructor come on here and speak about something. Lynn Givens might be a fantastic one to ask that question to.
I think I might wear my kilt and try it for one of the classes.
That's a great idea.
There you go.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Andy.
Hey, thanks. Just people dying. It's okay.
Oh, sunshine and rainbows.
We're gonna jump through a little quicker here because we're running long. Now that you're back, Andy, you want to talk about your tech stuff, the gun detect?
Yeah. Let me find that one. It's called the Smart Camera, or what is it called? Let's see. The Nanowatt Design Gun Detect. This company's come out with a camera that well, it does facial recognition software, but what they've done, they've programmed it to recognize a firearm. So anytime a firearm comes up in its view and it recognizes it, it sends a text to the owner. I have a video here if you want to get me presenting, Mike.
Sure.
Let's see. It's a 3-minute video. We'll see what you guys think about it first.
I still see your face.
You're not seeing it? Oh, hang on. I gotta hit this button.
The green one.
There we go. There, how's that? Oh. Is it working?
I got a black screen.
Yep, black screen here too.
Yep.
How about now?
There we go.
There we go. So this is they're promoting it for home. It's costs $350 for the system. It's a Kickstarter.
That's a dumb safe.
Is that a 5.7?
Yeah, it is.
I thought that was just locked.
Scott Gardner, the CEO of Nanowatt Design, and this is the kind of scenario we'd like to prevent. Gun detection is a computer vision processor that can detect a gun in its field of view and alert you via text message when it sees one.
So there's been some really interesting research in computer vision and deep learning the last few years. So I take some of that research, apply it to the problem of detecting guns and images, and implement it on small, efficient, embedded platforms.
So the cool thing is our computer vision technology can be programmed to see any object.
I is not a gun owner.
Why did we choose guns? As it turns out,
I got nothing.
it's really, really hard for a computer vision system.
There are many different types of guns. You know, there's almost an infinite number of models, colors, shapes, sizes. In
Why is he
particular,
flagging everybody?
Yeah, I don't think he's a gun
very
guy.
challenging.
No.
We develop computer vision systems and software at Nanowatt, and we want to use our technology to improve people's lives. We understand that many of us have guns, and guns are here to stay. And we all agree that gun safety is of paramount importance, especially when there's children in the house. We believe that this is
That
the right
part's true.
technology to make your home safer for guns, and it's the kind of technology that gun owners are going to want because it doesn't take away the utility of the gun. With this technology in your home, you can be much more sure that your gun is not in the wrong hands.
The design philosophy that we've had is to avoid sending video. For example, then our gun detect product might be deployed in a bedroom, and that's pretty obvious that no one wants to have that video sent out.
Of course, gun detect will also alert you if an intruder comes into your home. And this is a much more affordable way to do home security than the existing systems that can cost tens of thousands of dollars and were designed for institutions such as airports.
You need to clean the mess on the wall.
Actually buy the processor and cameras and the other parts of the system and assemble it together into this initial prototype, and then prove using our proprietary software that this actually works.
Gun Detect's design is a small device that sits on a shelf or hangs on a wall, and it's meant to be unobtrusive, and all it needs is an electrical outlet and a Wi-Fi connection.
It looks like the Nest.
Gun Detect
Yeah, it's like a drop cam, just it must have facial recognition in it.
prototype and its manufacturer. Thank you for taking a look at our campaign. We really hope you'll back us, and together we'll make the world a safer place.
So Andy, explain to me again, what's it do? It just identifies that there's someone with a gun in your home?
No, it's supposed to notice that your kids just picked up and found a gun and it texted the mom.
That was downstairs.
How's that going to stop anything?
It's, so it's
at home.
exactly. It sends a text message to mom who's at work. By the way, your kid's got a gun at home.
Yeah, so now she can freak out at work
Yeah.
and try and drive home as fast as she can.
Yeah. I
Like
don't know.
again, it's a reactive, okay, piece of technology, okay, right, great, wow, there's somebody that's got a gun in the home. Now what do you do? Like, what's the response time on the alerts and stuff like that,
Even if it was instant, even if if it was like some Minority Report shit where it knew when your kid was gonna pull the gun out and notified you, it's over before it's too late. There's no way just a simple text message is going to stop you. It's no replacement for proper education and proper safe storage.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, first
But
of all, that
in the
gun
middle of the
obviously
night when that
wasn't.
thief comes in, pointing his gun, walking with his gun out, and
Yeah.
texting in the bedroom.
I can get a text message telling me.
Because you didn't hear him kick the door in or break the window or anything like that. He's real quiet, and so that thing just identifies that he's armed for you. And
Now,
the text will, I don't know about you guys, but every text wakes me up.
The system, I think, is cool. If you could set it up for like to spot a certain person, like a ex-girlfriend at the door or something, and get a text, I think that's more useful than spotting.
Yeah, I think any
That's more facial recognition.
right, facial recognition in any camera would be a good direction it would go in. You know.
That would be cool. I think the technology is cool, but I don't want to depend on that in order to protect my kids or to be like, hey, you left your unloaded, loaded.
Yeah, I have a lot of comments from people. You know, the better solution is a better safe, and people need to be a responsible gun owner.
A better solution is more education in your kids too.
Right.
Yep. Exactly. Education is the key.
Yeah. I wanted to show. Let's do drink of the week real quick. This week's drink of the week is Bloody Marys. I'm almost gone, but Erica bought Sriracha Bloody Marys, and these things are ridiculously spicy. I love me a good.
I watered it down for you.
Shut up. It's still very spicy. So now that I'm almost finished with that, I've gone back to a Guinness. And Andy's at work, and Chris is drinking a protein shake. Protein shake.
I'm still on my Bloody Mary too. It was really good. It is very spicy, but it's the help. Remember we had that list of drinks that were like the best alcoholic drink for you.
Yep.
So yeah, look, I'm drinking my vegetables, tomato based. Woo.
One other question we got is from Alex again. What the hell kind of processor is running this thing for over $400? I didn't realize that camera is for over $400. Andy?
Yeah, it's the cloud-based system is $349, and if you have the software there, the hardware there, it's $549.
That's crazy.
Yeah, for a $35 camera.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to our favorite segment of the week. And everybody loves this. Are you ready for it?
Yes.
Here we go.
You know what really grinds my gears?
All right. This week, you know what really grinds my gears from Erica. What do you got?
All right, so this week, what really grinds my gears is when the Hulk comes into my kitchen, opens up my fridge, and tightens every jar or why do you guys have to tighten them down so hard? Okay, is it like a joke that, Mike, like you come down here early in the morning and you're like, I'm gonna get her, and you like really wrench down on that soda can or on the pickles. All I want is a pickle, okay? I go into the fridge and I have to try and like use like Superman muscles to open it. All I want is a pickle. I know you're probably seriously like set up one of those Nest cameras and you're laughing at me while you're at work as I'm trying to open up for this stupid pickle jar.
You got
so
me.
could you call off the Hulk, okay? Can you ask Superman not to tighten that anymore? I just want to get to the food, okay? Or are you telling me that I'm fat? Because now I'm going to have a complex.
I'm going to tighten everything now even more.
Yeah, so that grinds my gears. Stop tightening down the lids in the fridge. It's not funny.
You know what really grinds my gears?
All right, well, thank you for that. Erica, even though that was mostly directed towards me.
Sorry. My dad used to do it too, okay? Like, seriously, as a little kid, like, little 12-year-old arms trying to get into stuff. And, you know, then I have to call my dad. Maybe that's what it is. Is it that you like when I have to put you like, Mike, can you open this for me? You feel like a big man? Is that it?
Really killing my manhood over here.
Just wondering, you know, whatever I can do to help.
All right, let's get into some serious stuff here before we call it quits for tonight. I wanted to talk a little bit about news. For everybody that didn't know, today there was a gunman fatally shot 4 Marines and wounded a police officer at a military recruiting and training center in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And our thoughts and condolences go out to all the families of those involved. Some things to note about what it was and who did this. I'm not even going to mention his name because he doesn't deserve to be mentioned. He was a naturalized U.S. citizen, originally from Kuwait, which is interesting. So he became a U.S. citizen, but he was obviously had some issues. Ominously, ISIS-affiliated account tweets about the shooting. I don't know if it was before or after. It doesn't really say. Timestamp shows it was sent at 10:34 a.m., which is about when it started. He was a recent college grad and an electrical engineer. And he wrote blog posts about Islam days before the attack. And he opened fire from his Mustang at the recruiting center and gunned down the Marines at another facility. It looks like he acted alone from everything I read on this. It's really sad, and I think there's 2 directions really that I'm seeing people go, certainly on social media right now. One being that it is absolutely awful, but honestly, I think too many people are jumping immediately to the, oh, it was a gun-free zone, can't wait to hear about that. I think it's just in poor taste that everybody's jumping to that. I would hope that this isn't going to be used for further gun control, because it's so obviously ridiculous that it was there was a sign for no guns and everything, but I don't even really want to address that too much. This was just a horrible, horrible thing, and if this guy truly was quote unquote acting with ISIS, it's ridiculous. And I think this may just be the beginning. And I'm not to tinfoil hat anybody, but this is the reason why we need to be vigilant and understand and keep aware of our surroundings.
Yeah, I just want to. As a paid fireman, we've gotten updates from Department of Homeland Security warning us of exactly these things happening to uniform, to military, police, firemen, EMTs. They said this was going to happen. It is starting to happen, and we have to be very vigilant about it.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on it, Erica?
What do I look for? Like everybody says to be vigilant. Got it. Vigilant. So does that mean, what does that mean? What do I like? Keep my head on a swivel? Can somebody give me some ideas? Something to be vigilant. This was an awful tragedy. How do I prevent the next thing? What do I do?
You may
Little
not.
old me. Or what am I looking for? You know, they post these things that say, hey, everybody keep your eyes open. Okay, I can do that. I can keep my eyes open. What am I looking for?
Well, a lot of times, Erica, these guys exhibit symptoms of stress, prior to what they're doing, whether they're, fully into it or they're, trying to build themselves up to it. will be, sweating. They will be, acting erratically, clenching their hands, unclenching their hands. They might wear clothing that's not congruent with the season or the environment, a big heavy coat. And then the flip side of that is they might not. You look at these guys that are professional terrorists, and they, they've got a job to do. They're going to come and do it. But basically, the best you can do, I think, without being paranoid, without ruining the beauty that is our lives, is to just constantly, not constantly, but be aware of your surroundings by asking yourself some simple questions. A phrase that I got from Tom Givens from Rangemaster is very simply, who's around me and what are they doing? And avoiding, having your head in your phone all the time, and what Southmark refers to as task fixation is key when you're out in public places, hotspots, restaurants, mini marts and whatnot. These are things that not only will help you with regular crimes, but can give you a heads up to observing a potential threat with these active killers. And I think it's important that we define these guys, especially this guy and others like him, as just that, Greg Ellifritz of Active Response Training.net, someone who I recommend you guys contact and have on your show. He refers to these people, and he's kind of got a pet peeve, and I totally agree with him that we're not labeling these people correctly. They are active killers. Their goal is to kill people and hurt people, and we need to call them that. We need to label them correctly, and this guy's a perfect example of that. But it's a fine line between being paranoid all the time and trying to live our lives to the best that we can. But I think just simply on a asking yourself, geez, who's around me right now? What are they doing? And trying to look for those indicators, those threat indicators. Why is this guy wearing that coat? When everybody else is wearing a t-shirt and shorts. And geez, what's he got in his hand? Why's he got that big long duffel bag, over his shoulder when he's walking into the mini mart? Nobody carries a big long duffel bag or a backpack into a mini mart. In my area here, maybe in a city where there's a lot of foot traffic, that might be consistent. But thinking about the kind of weapons that they want to use, and handguns are probably going to be the first thing that we're going to see be most prevalent because they're easy to conceal. But look at all these guys that have gone in. The one guy that went in the military facility with a shotgun. I think one area that America needs to get over is this not allowing military personnel to carry firearms, on military institutions. I mean, our police officers carry firearms, in their departments, in their department houses, and in public. Why can't our military personnel who have fought for 10 years or more for several years to protect our country, when they're here and on a home base or in a recruiting office like this or whatever kind of office, why can't these guys be armed? I mean, they have just as much right to, if they can protect me as a civilian and they can protect our country, why can't they protect themselves? I think America really needs to, I agree with Mike, it's going to be turned into a anti-gun thing. Guns are bad, let's ban guns. But I think the bigger debate and question needs to be asked is when are we going to say enough is enough and start allowing these? Because if maybe if one of these guys, one of these Marines was armed, things would have turned out differently. But we won't know because they couldn't be. So, and I'd like everybody to say hello to Tiberius. Here, Tiberius.
Hi, Ty.
What do you think, Ty?
I do know after the last shooting in a military facility that there are some military facilities where the commander can allow certain people, so it's not a blanket thing, but certain people to carry while on post. It's their option, so whether this option is being used now or will be used in the future, I think it's a major thing. I mean, every community has recruiters, and those are the guys who are out on the streets and are very vulnerable right now, not just the post, but I mean every city has multiple recruiting offices, and those are what are going to be targeted. And get your face out of your cell phone, like Chris says. Get your head up. Don't put your face in your cell phone. Tell your wife. I mean, if you got something, tell your wife or your kid hey, it's your turn to look out. I'm on my phone.
Yeah.
I got that from an excellent instructor named Chris Fry.
Know that dude.
Yeah, that's a little thing that we talk about called forced teaming. If I'm out somewhere and I have to look at my phone or I have to look at my laptop or whatever it is, my iPad, or deal with a car door or go into a hotel room, it's not. It doesn't take much to say to your son or daughter who might, they might be 9 or 10, but they love, being a part of this and helping the family, and you can make it into a game, or your wife or significant other say, hey, watch the hallway for me for a second while I mess around with this key card to get into this room, or while I check this text message that's really important. If you run a business, you get important emails and whatnot. Sometimes you have to look at them. I hear people say, well, just put it away, it's not that important. Well, I know people that time is very, very important, that they respond to certain things. So, practice some forced teaming,
Yeah, we could talk about this for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's really all I wanted to say about this. I'm sure we'll see more unfold as we learn more about it. But like I said, our thoughts and condolences go out to all the families involved. And we hope everything is dealt with speedily. That's pretty much most of our show for tonight. What's upcoming events we have going on? I'm going to see the Minions movie this week. I haven't seen it. I want to go see it.
Aren't you going to see the Eagles too?
I am going to see the Eagles. I'm going to the Eagles concert with my mom.
Hot date.
I'm actually excited because hopefully she'll drive and I can just get drunk.
I'm sure she's super excited about that.
I saw the Eagles about 15 years ago at Darien Lake, I think. Maybe more. Probably almost 20 years ago.
I think this is in Buffalo, so probably in a hockey arena or something. I wonder, maybe my mom will go down with me and we'll hit the mosh pit or something.
At the Eagles concert.
I like the pot pit.
But right.
Andy, what are you doing?
I'm going to camp. Going to camp with my kids for the weekend.
Good.
I haven't seen them.
Like
They're gone for 3 weeks, so I'm going to go down there and see them.
Nice. I've got a benefit this weekend on Saturday down in Rochester that I'm going to raise some money for a fundraiser for a scholarship for my dance teacher that passed almost a year ago. So that's Saturday. Sunday, I think we're going to try and see the Minions movie.
Sunday. There's a car show Sunday we might go to and then hit Minions.
Oh, I'm also going shooting Saturday with local company 2A Gunsmithing, James.
Oh yeah, he messaged me about going. If you guys go early enough in the morning, I'll go for a little bit.
Probably afternoon because it's going to rain.
Okay.
Uh-huh. What about you, Chris? What do you got going on?
A wedding and a couple of graduation parties, and it's that time of year, a little bit of training, I hope. So.
Are you teaching it all this weekend?
I am not teaching this weekend.
Okay.
So.
Cool. Well, next week we have Craig, a.k.a. Southnark. He's been mentioned a few times on the show. He'll be on the show, and next weekend I will be attending the ECQC class that Chris is hosting. So I'm excited to that. To get a chance to go and see this and hang out with Craig. I always enjoy talking to him. Anybody who wants to get a hold of you, Chris, what's the best way? If anybody has any extra questions, they can always contact us, but what's the best way to get a hold of you?
You can email me. It's fry@mdtstraining.com. There's a contact form on the website, mdtstraining.com, or I answer a lot of private messages and stuff on the MDTS Facebook page, so facebook.com/MDTS Training.
Oh, shit. You know what we didn't talk about, Mike?
What?
We didn't talk about the doodle bugs incident.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, we can bring it up quick. So one thing that we want to talk about was that the other day some crazy dude put a bomb threat into the daycare that our kids are at. And we didn't find out till we saw it on like the news, Facebook, or one of the other local radio shows. But you would think they would have told the parents ahead of time. I know you were pretty upset about it, Harry.
Yeah, I was real upset about it. It happened. Geez, maybe it was on the 13th. So it happened on the 13th. I remember seeing the 4 Webster cops walk into Doodlebugs and think to myself, what's going on? What happened at Doodlebugs? I had my kids in the car already. I left and didn't really think too much about it. Went the next morning, dropped the kids off at school. You know, you got to sign in. They've got all kinds of security, thumbprint readers to get into the building. You got to go by the front desks. They hide the people at the front desks, sign your kids in. Then you got to go drop them off at their individual classes. Say, hey, teachers, what's up? Here's my kid, to each kid's classroom. I got nothing. Nothing. They said, oh, hi, Erica. Good morning. Blah, blah, blah. Walk past the front desk on my way out. Bye, guys. Bye, Erica. Get in my car. Drive to work. They have my email. They have my cell phone number. They have many ways to get in contact with me. I hear repeatedly how many times they go poop every day. I get emails every day about all the awesome pictures that they make and scribbles, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Then I pick the kids up, and we come home. Then I'm at home, and I'm looking through Facebook, and I see one of the teachers post up about, you know, what had happened, that this guy called in a bomb threat, and that, you know, everything was taken care of, and et cetera, et cetera. And I'm like, are you kidding me? This is how I'm finding out why these four cops walked in the previous day, 24 hours after the fact. They couldn't even tell me. No email, no phone call, no, oh, hey, by the way, we had a crazy man that, you know, threatened to bomb the place or whatever. So I'm a little annoyed at the communication drop there, because then Mike heard it on the Kimberly and Beck show here that's local to Rochester. So that's how I found out that my kids' daycare had a bomb threat called in. Yay.
Pretty ridiculous.
Yeah. I said something the next day. They apologized. I didn't expect to hear about it right when it happened. I know that can cause hysteria and a lot of freaking out.
Do they have a policy about it or no?
I don't know. I haven't looked.
Maybe they should.
It's funny because it came 1 month after they released a policy saying no guns in daycares.
Yes. Well, there was no guns. It was a bomb. So.
Well, it wasn't actually a bomb.
No, the guy was very annoyed because he couldn't enroll his kid, so he made like an empty, crazy threat and was like, I'm just going to blow up the place or something ridiculous. And they went and the cops talked to him, and I don't know if they arrested him. I'm glad that Doodlebugs called the cops and they took it seriously. I didn't want to find out via a radio. Like, why did the media know before me? They had all these other ways to get in contact with me. So, a little annoyed. The end. That's what really grinds my gears.
There you go.
All right, Mike, you can finish the show now.
Shout out to my friend Tony Wilson, who sent me this little piggy. I don't know if you can see it. We had Rob on. It was a great guest, but I bought those patches from him. If you guys follow my Instagram, he sent me this cool little piggy. Looks like, I don't know, it's for my Pandora bracelet or charm or something.
It's for your lanyard for your expensive knife, Mike.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you, Tony. I appreciate it.
I'm going to put it on my Pandora bracelet, though, now.
You should. I'm going to leave everybody with my final thought of the show. If the 14th Amendment protects gay marriage, it should also protect my desire to marry multiple wives.
Erica said no.
Well, think of all the cleaning that could get done.
Yeah, that's exactly what would be getting done.
Oh, that's going to be getting done all right. Cleaning something.
And I'm out.
So,
yeah.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening. As usual, you can find us on Twitter at CrashNBurnTV. You can find myself at Mike Santola, Erica at Erica Santola, and Andy at Andy Dickinson. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and check it out. Check out the old shows. Listen to some old stuff and let us know what you think.
We should have the podcast up soon, right, Mike?
Yeah, we'll have actual podcast MP3s and stuff up so you can subscribe via iTunes and cool stuff like that. And hopefully we'll have a working chat system soon, which would be kind of cool. Last thing also, maybe a website in the future, but check out our Google+, check out our Facebook page. Let us know if you have any ideas for what you'd like to see us on the show. And we've got some footage that we took at Chris's pistol class last week that we will edit together, and if Chris likes it, cool, we'll throw it up on our YouTube page as well. So once again, thank you everybody for listening, and we'll catch you all next week.
See ya!
Thank you.
Good night.
What are you doing, Mike? Play some music or out.
I'm trying.
I know.
There we go.
I think people are gone.
Yeah, no, people are still there.
Oh, they really want to hear your music.
Nobody wants to hear my music. That's lovely, Andy. Oh, it's playing. I just can't hear it. Oh, it's muted. There we go. All right, see you, everybody. We should do something like the Marvels movies at the end or something, where we talk about, you know what we didn't
We're
do?
still live.
We didn't give away any T-shirts.
Ah, shit.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Whoever wants a free, whoever's still listening, if you want to win a free "Do You Even Pew 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 Bro" T-shirt, hit us up on Facebook. Go share the post on Facebook. Well, Andy, go put one up on Crash and Burn Facebook and tell people to share it. We'll pick a winner in the morning.
I already did, and we'll pick a winner in the morning.
Yeah. But take a screenshot of me holding up the shirt or something. Okay, peace out, everybody.
Damn.